And we are live. Welcome to Fire Your Boss. My name is George Bruno, and I'm with Dan T-Bone Jones, also known as Jonesy, and Frank Gehring. Say hello, guys.
What it do on a Friday?
Hey, everybody. What it do on a Friday? Oh, my God.
What's new with you guys? Let's, since you guys are now celebrities on this channel, people want to know about you. I mean, I even got emails asking, is Jonesy single? Stuff like that. And I'm like, you're going to have to ask him. So
That's
I
a
don't.
no.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What's up with that? This is 59. This is what 59 looks like, people.
That's right.
Love
That's
for,
right.
For the Frankster.
And that's a pretty good 59 there. And what you got? You're not 40 yet, are you, Jonesy?
I'll be 40 in about 3 months.
Ah, there we go.
Now here,
Okay,
I've
cool.
got those emails coming in right now. I've got less hair than both of you at 39.
Ah,
Right?
yeah, but bald is in, man. Bald is in.
Bald is beautiful. That's what they say. Hey, this stuff's
Hey, listen.
in and out. I'm not dewlapping. This stuff's coming right off. I don't care.
I have shaved my head down to the bone many times in my lifetime, and I broke my dependence. Oh, look at this. We got a comment that says Jonesy looks like he's in his late 20s. Well, there you go.
Hey, thanks.
I don't know if that's a compliment to you. I know for me, when someone says I look younger, that's a compliment. But since my hair turned white, everyone says you look 20 years older than what you are. So
I'm in the middle, I guess. I get no comments.
you
Captain
will.
Neutral at your service.
There we go.
You're a PH
There we
neutral
go.
milk. I love it.
Absolutely.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I had shaved my head on and off throughout my entire life just for the heck of it. And just because. I just wanted to break myself of my dependence on hair. So I went hair fasting. That's what I call shaving my head. Hair fasting.
Opt-in hair fasting. Got it.
Opt-in hair fasting.
Yeah.
Exactly. Today we're going to talk about call to action. A call to action.
I feel like standing up and saluting right now for some reason.
Exactly. I remember years ago listening to Brian Tracy, and this is back in the 80s, and he talked about asking for the sale. The top 3% of all salespeople literally ask for the sale. And this was actually pre-internet. This is pre-email. This is when people actually sold face-to-face or via telephone call. There was not even video calls at the time. So you didn't just present information and leave it up to the client. You literally, I remember salesmen, this is how old I am, that actually bought like a Mont Blanc pen and would slide a contract over and put the $250 pen in front of the person and say, well, and they put an X, just sign right there and we'll make things happen for you. And they asked for the sale. I remember going to buy a car, and car salesman would say, what do I have to do today to help you drive out in a new car? Salesmen were much stronger. The whole concept of call to action wasn't as pronounced as it is today because we're so informal, we're so distant. Everybody's an NPC now. Tell me, now you guys are more modern. You guys have made your money online, or much of your money online. So you are more familiar with a virtual call to action than I am. I am literally so old school, I have to verbally ask people for the sale. Jonesy, talk to me about call to action.
Okay, so it's not that the call to action went away. It's that there's more nuances to it now throughout the sales and marketing funnel. The actual visual of the funnel, right? You go into the funnel, and the idea for the sales and marketing person is that you come out the other side, you being the prospect, buying the thing, buying the product or service. So, George, what you're talking about, pushing the Mont Blanc pen across the table. Yeah, I know what a Mont Blanc pen is. My second job was working at Staples back in the day when we still sold those things. And then
Yes.
I ended up working at a car dealership as well. So I definitely get the reference of what do I got to do to put you into a car today? Those are the bottom funnel call to action, which is, in a sales funnel using the AIDA method: awareness, interest, decision, action. That is the action. But now digital advertising everywhere. There's calls to action throughout the funnel. It's cascading, and depending on where somebody is, your audience is in that process, the call to action is going to facilitate that next step. So the action is not the sale, the conversion is not the sale. the higher up in the funnel you are. And just using examples like that we see on the internet, learn more, sign up now, join now, subscribe today, like and subscribe. We're on YouTube. Like and subscribe is a call to action. And it's not getting a sale. All it's doing is building an audience.
Excellent. Frank, talk to me about call to action.
Well, I fall somewhere in the middle because I started out in direct sales and network marketing back in the mid 90s. And the internet, I mean, I built my business on a 14.4 dial up and then 28.8 or whatever. And then we went to 56K. I was like, oh my God, the speed demon, you know? So I'm, I'm a bit older than Jonesy, but I mean, I'm used to the phone. I really like talking to people on the phone, even if it's for an internet product. I'd rather have them call me and say, hey, Frank, I'm thinking of buying this. What do you think? Let my readers do that. They'll call me or email me and they'll say, hey, Frank, I see everybody else promoting ABC product. What do you think? And then, I tell them straight. I say, hey, it's good. I don't know. I hear good things about it. I know the guy that makes it, so I know he's good. That type of a thing. But I'm not afraid to ask for the sale. These funnel kids, there's a lot of
Funnel kids.
I'm just in the ornery mood to pick on Jonesy today. And he insists on that Philadelphia Flyers thing on his couch every week.
Hey! They won. They won. They finally broke the shitty ass the losing cycle. Continue.
I am going to start wearing a Pittsburgh Penguins bandana for every show. And if that doesn't work, I'll get a tattoo, prison tattoo right here.
We're on a complete discourse right now. In about 24 hours from today, I will be in Allentown, PA, at the PPL Center on the ice. I'm gonna wear some Flyers gear just for you, Frank.
You didn't tell me you were going to be there. Story of my life. 5 miles away, and you didn't tell me.
I'm sure there's still tickets to the game.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
So getting back to that guy, seriously, there's a certain point you have to ask for the sale, because that awkward pause, I should say, in the discussion, physically, you got the paper and the contract here, or the X and sign it, man. Somebody's got to say something, and it doesn't have to be high pressure. I'm very low pressure. I tell people, hey, you want to do this great? You don't want to do this great, but this is what's good for you, and this is what I think you should do based on everything you've told me. I think that's somewhere in the middle, but people are like afraid. I think people are afraid to ask for the sale. And it's very easy to hide. And I'm not saying anybody in specific, but I remember with all these autoresponders and stuff that came out, it was so easy to hide behind the autoresponder and let the autoresponder do the work for you. You didn't have to do any talking, anything, and money shows up for free. And that still happens to me with like AWeber and stuff like that, my autoresponder. And I love that. But, you can sell a ton of stuff just automatically. But I think your upsells and all, you need to, say a webinar, a recorded video, or what's wrong with the phone. Somebody wants our coaching program. I want to talk to them. Don't send the money. Well, go ahead and send the money. I'm going to take the money. But I personally would rather talk to you. I'm not stupid, right, Jonesy? Take the money, but I'm saying
exactly. Yeah. Say yeah.
Jonesy's like, no, don't say that. But you want to make sure it's a good fit. Anything over a few $100s, I want to make sure it's a good fit, because, man, in the internet there are so many people that will just sell you crap for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like air in a bag,
Yep.
And I am not perfect. Over my 26 years, I'm sure that I've made a mistake or two, but it was always an accidental, like just a mistake, not like I'm going to screw you just because I know how to, But you get a lot of these people, they sell air inside a pretty box with a pretty sales letter, with pretty packaging, and then the stuff's unusable or it doesn't work. And so, yeah, I'd rather build a little bit of a connection. My peers used to laugh at me because I was the only guy dumb enough to give out a cell phone number, but I was also the only one with all coaching clients because people knew they could call me. And I don't say any of this to brag. I'm just like, I think this ties back to knowing your customer and being able to speak to them or relate to them. Because everything I do in internet marketing and in the land business that I have and all, I learned it all as a 14-year-old paper boy. When I started in New Jersey, I took over this girl Joanne's paper route, And I didn't know any better. I went to every house the first Friday to collect the money, and I said, "Hey, I'm Frankie Garin, live on Wood Avenue here. Where do you want your paper? You want it in the mailbox? You want it inside the front door? You want it under the mat, back door, or what?" And I said, "Here's my parents' phone number because 1970 whatever, nobody had cells." I said, "Here's my parents' phone number. If the paper's late or something happens or whatever, you just call them and I'll come." I didn't know that was like something revolutionary. That's just common sense to me, you
Mhm.
know. So that ties into asking for the sale. If you got something to sell and you believe in it, ask for the sale without being an obnoxious jerk. I think there's a balance.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when you purchase anything online, on your way out, like you put something in your cart, on your way out, you get upsell. I mean, you get upsold or whatever the proper term for that would be. You order a pizza from Papa John's. On the way out,
I ordered one
literally,
yesterday. There's three
w- w-
pop-ups.
yeah, would you like the garlic knots? How about a 2-liter Coke? Do you want a dozen hot wings? And I'm always like, yes. Would you like a second pizza for $5? And when I first logged on, my goal was just to get a pizza and get it delivered in 30 minutes or less. And then next thing you know, I'm spending like $45, with all the extras. And the guy comes like with two pizza boxes and different containers and a 2-liter Coke. And that was kind of interesting, that method of selling. I'll never forget the first time that I experienced that.
Well, you figured they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. And like say at Papa John's, oops, sorry guys. At Papa John's, see, it shows you don't have to be a genius to make money on the internet. I had my phone on silent, but a 3:30 alarm went off. So Papa John's, they even ask if you want extra dipping sauce for your pizza and all. Like they'll sell you as many as you want. It's
Yeah.
very very interesting. It's
Oh, and I love that garlic flavored cholesterol. That stuff is great.
really see. I wish they gave me the more of the tomato sauce, the dipping sauce. Yeah, I'll trade you, Jonesy.
Did you ask him for it?
Nah, I
No,
felt silly.
you should ask for the sauce. It's like ask for the sale.
Ask for the sauce.
Yeah.
But you know
dot com.
what? I see Papa John's in a new light. No longer will I accept garlic.
Well, I stand by and not have my marinara.
That's what I want. That's what I'll get. Darn it. Yes.
Well, even on Amazon, when you go to check out, you'll see something that says people who bought this also bought this, and they will stack 2 or 3 other items
Yep.
with it. So there's like an upsell happening everywhere in life, everywhere. It's just kind of it's a thing now. It's a thing.
And from that perspective, it's even a way to connect somebody with a product that may be a better fit. Because there's you may also like, or people also purchased with this, all right, and it'll present you a package, or it'll say users who bought this or were searching for this also searched for this, and then they present you with other products and comparisons, which may be a better fit depending if you're price sensitive or there's a different feature set, depending on what your goals are. And that's another valid way of creating a CTA, call to action, within the funnel, connecting the right person with the right product or service at the end of the day.
Alex Hormozy came out with that book called $100 Million Offers. And he says the secret to the success of his company was literally offers, asking for the sale, getting people to move, get a yes or a no or a maybe or something. Get something. Never just leave the ball in their court, because that seems like the gentlemanly thing to do. Well, I'll leave it up to you. Just get back to me if you want to buy this. And he's like, no, put them on the spot. Don't be a dick about it, but put people on the spot. Get a yes or a no or a maybe. And if it's a maybe, when can I call you back? When's a good time for us to reconnect? That kind of thing.
Well, like I say, I got started in network marketing back in 1992 or 3, something like that. And my sponsor told me, yes or no are both good answers, because you're sorting and sifting. I can do something with either of them. That let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Nobody gets back to you. That's like
nobody gets back to you.
That's
Nobody.
a Dear John letter spoken verbally.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not happening. Might as well throw the lead out.
Yeah.
That's why you have to ask for it. And you know what? God's honest opinion. you shouldn't be selling stuff you don't believe in. How about that? Because if you believe in what you sell, you're why wouldn't you ask for the sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, duh. It's that simple. I mean, whether you're at work or we're talking about firing your own boss, I won't even talk about work. But if you're putting something out there, and we talk about MVP, minimum viable product. Hey, if you've got your MVP out there and you're honestly working at it and you honestly think this is the best, you know, that you're capable of today, you need to promote it, because who has to be your biggest fan? You do.
Yeah.
To keep yourself motivated through all this. There's days your mail is going to tank. There's days that your list isn't going to react. There's days that you're going to feel like, what am I doing? But you know what? Then there's days you're like, wow, this thing really works. And, get your MVP out there, start believing in yourself. Because I'll tell you what, guys and audience, this whole, working for yourself, fire your boss stuff, it's 90% psychology, 10% technique. There's no excuse for sloppiness or anything like that. So I'm not here to minimize technique. 90% of what it takes to make it on your own as an entrepreneur is just thinking you can. You know what I did? I drove tractor trailer 2 or 3 days a week while I was building my business, right? And at lunchtime, if I was at a place, waiting to get my trailer unloaded, everybody else would be out there smoking a cigarette and shooting the breeze. I was in the cab of my tractor listening to an Amway tape, or all these guys that we look up to, Tony Robbins and this one and that one. And what I did was I basically immunized myself against the dream stealers, because I had to talk inside my own head, like, what right did I have as a early 30s truck driver who only had a 2-year degree? What right do I have to think I could be successful? You know what I mean? And I realize I'm on a bit of a tangent here, but it's really important for people to hear that. You have to believe in yourself, and you can't let other people talk you out of doing anything. And that does tie into believing in your own product, because if you believe in your product, you darn well better believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's the MVP, you got the basics up and running, and there's another version coming, or it's your masterwork. Either way, you have to believe in it, or what business do you have selling it to somebody?
That reminds me I remember going to a Zig Ziglar sales training, and I remember they spent a whole day on handling objections. Literally, the topic all day long was handling objections. And then they would hot seat you, and somebody would give you an objection, and you'd have to kind of turn that around, use a little, I don't know, what is it called, like verbal judo or something like that, and literally don't be intimidated by people's objections. Literally have an answer for everything to kind of put people into the funnel. And of course, this was in the day before there was even such a thing as a funnel, or before people even started calling it a funnel. But I'm thinking of the interview with Tim Ferriss and Noah Kagan, where they were talking about get used to asking people for things. Ask people to invest $1, literally. Ask your friends and family, would you be willing to invest $1 or $5 in my business as I'm starting this? Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say no. And then ask people, and he did a video on this where he's literally on the street saying, I'm starting a business. I was wondering if you would be interested in investing $1 in my business. And some people would say, sure, like, what's your Venmo? That type of thing. And they give them the money right then and there. Other people say, no, I'm good, thank you. And they keep walking. And I think you do have to kind of, I don't want to say battle harden yourself, but the word no is not the end of the world. It doesn't, like the word no, like door-to-door salesman. Frank, you and I are old enough to remember, and probably Jonesy remembers, doors being closed in your face.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those were the days, man. I used to sell for the football team. I sold for the band in high school, and we would have like an annual calendar sale, a fudge sale, that kind of thing. I had more damn doors closed in my face, and I would feel sorry for myself on my way back out of their driveway. But it was only 50 feet before the next front door at the next house. So I had to suck it up. I had to kind of like deal with the word no, deal with the rejection, put on a happy face, and be fresh as I'm knocking on that door. That was a way to kind of I don't want to say harden myself, but to
Makes you
toughen
strong.
myself,
Yeah,
make
it
me
makes you strong.
stronger. Yeah, yeah. Is there any of that happening today? Is there anything that's helping people? Like for instance, like if you take a sales job today, for instance, if you work for like a staffing agency, they want you to make 100 phone calls a day. 100 phone calls a
Okay.
day.
That's a
And
lot.
if you do that, the rewards can be pretty great, but most people aren't going to be able to do it. They just can't handle rejection from strangers.
Yeah, but what's that person going to do? I mean, think about it, everybody. So you're asking for a sale. They say no. What are they going to do? Jump through the phone wire and kick you, hunt you down? Like
Right.
it's a no. And when somebody's rude, and not so much see what I did. I started out in network marketing, so that's why you'll hear me refer to that a lot. And the internet stuff came as I got into the internet, got into the network marketing. People would say, "Hey Frank, where are you getting your leads from?" And I would tell them, "Hey, this company called ProStep," and I would get money, as a commission. Somebody would say, "Hey Frank, I need your oh, there's T-Bone. I love that dog. That
Good
is a soul
boy.
puppy, right? T-Bone, Uncle Frankie over here. Yo,
Where's Uncle
baby.
Frankie? Where's Uncle
Woof."
Frankie?
So, but the network marketing stuff, people would ask me, "What's your autoresponder? You're not doing all this manually, are you?" And so I'd say, "No, here's my Weber thing and this and that." And I got to the point where even if somebody was in a different network marketing company, I could promote my leads program and get a yes when there would be an otherwise no. No's don't kill you. Why are you taking it personal? Jonesy, I say no to you now. Are you going to go cry or what? No, you just keep moving.
Get
It's
to the no
tearing up.
fast.
I thought you were tearing up there. Way to make me look
No, I'm
bad.
tearing up because my dog. You got to try a little harder.
Hey, all right. Time for a commercial. This broadcast of Fire Your Boss is brought to you by conversionchemistry.com and the Impact event coming up. Frank, talk to us about the Impact event, and then Jonesy, talk to us about conversion chemistry.
Well, the Impact event is next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Philadelphia, and our dear friend and esteemed colleague Ken MacArthur is running it. And the URL for that, well, two things I'll say. First, the URL is what, Jonesy?
That would be createimpactnow.com.
Now. But not only do we have createimpactnow.com, but we have the ability to give out a couple of free tickets. So if you want to spend 3 days with people that are doing stuff with their lives, movers and shakers, I mean that in a good way, no egotistical jerks, but down to earth, sincere people that are here to empower you on so many levels, physical, mental, business, internet, etc., finances. We have a couple of free tickets. And where can they get those at, Jonesy?
Well, they can email us and then they can get the free tickets.
I like that.
So
That's
they can go to conversionchemistry.com and scroll to the bottom. There's a simple opt-in form, which is a call to action, if you will, top of funnel call to action. We operate with 100% transparency at Conversion Chemistry. So that's how you can reach us. And Dan at conversionchemistry.com or Jonesy at conversionchemistry.com works, and Frank at conversionchemistry.com. You can email us directly.
Absolutely. And if you want to spend 3 days getting yourself educated and cram 2 years worth of learning into a long weekend, that's your opportunity right there. All three of us will be there.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And you'll be surrounded by people that could buy Lamborghinis. And I'm saying that like in contrast to like what I call like the Lamborghini boys, all like the internet marketers that are like either buying or renting or leasing Lamborghinis. It's like thinking that that's kind of like a status thing, So I like to say you're going to be surrounded by people who could buy Lamborghinis, but choose not to because we'd rather spend our money on something else, such as real estate investments or investing in other things that actually appreciate in value.
I get upset when a bird poops on my truck, my pickup truck. Never mind a Lamborghini. Yeah. I get a scratch in a Lamborghini. I'm going to be insane. I'll be like,
I know. I saw him spit shining that bird turd off in my driveway on Monday.
Yeah.
He's staring up at the eclipse, but really his eyes are on the truck.
On the birds in my truck in his driveway, yeah. But the thing is, okay, if that's what you want, that's great. There is a good thing for Lamborghini. There's a reason Lamborghinis are in business, but that's also, in a sense, a lot of that's misplaced. And George, a lot of those are leased.
Yeah.
Rent.
Oh,
They don't own
absolutely.
that car.
Absolutely.
He's going around in a Prius after that commercial's over.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Me, having a house paid for and the retirement money, that's the sexy part.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
much as I love this, I will not be doing this 30 years from now. There's no way. Nope. There's an end goal, and do it while you're young, all you people. Listen to what Grandpa has to say.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Do it. Please save money while you're young. Just educate yourself financially, whether you're going to go into business for yourself or not. I think the problem, at least when I went to school, was you didn't talk about stuff like that. Like, they should have life skills, basic accounting, bookkeeping, not necessarily accounting, but like common sense stuff. Like, how about even how to unclog a toilet, how to access services that you may need in life, things like that. They didn't teach that in school. So when I came out of school, I started making money, man. I thought I was rich. If I would have saved a tenth of what I made, this call would be from the beach in Aruba right now. Honestly, guys. So I know it's another little bit of a tangent, but when these things come up, I gotta let them out.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. All right, Jonesy, give us a commercial for Conversion Chemistry.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to do all that and more, if you want to be like me and fire your boss and quit your job and work for yourself, we teach you how to do that at Conversion Chemistry, which is our community. It's our online marketing academy. It's our platform. It's our blueprint to allow you to create your offer, to bring it to market and be successful in any market, whether it's a recession, whether we're in a bull market, it doesn't matter. You're going to recession proof yourself and have the autonomy to work for yourself. That's the pathway to money and or power. If you crave either one of those things, knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the element that can get you there. And it's particularly useful for folks like myself who, I spent 20 years working for an employer, brought up in an educational system that was not conducive to entrepreneurship. I wasn't dumb, but I was unfocused because everything I was working on, I had to put my efforts towards, I had no passion for. So I learned it the hard way. And part of what we do at Conversion Chemistry is put you on a speed run. It is completely not only possible, but probable with our 91-day blueprint that you can take your side hustle and make it not only monetized, but enough to replace your income and then surpass it. Now, why 91 days, right? Why isn't it 90 days? Like everybody does 90 days. Well, you know what? I want you to start tomorrow. I don't say start today, even though, maybe that's going against what a lot of the professionals and, mainstreamers would tell you. But I think it's realistic to enjoy that moment of saying, yeah, I'm going to effing do this tomorrow. And then giving yourself that one extra day, sleep on it, wake up renewed. So the way it works is we're broken down into 10 modules to show you how to do this, right? And that gives you about a week per module, and then enjoy the hell out of the weekend. I believe in front loading work in order to get time on the back end, but not at the expense of the moment. Enjoy your downtime, and that's how we accomplish it. So that's what we do. You can join our community, is absolutely free, and we have some free resources. And then there is a paid membership course that we offer. And to everybody in the Bruno family, the Bruno bunch, we're offering for a limited time only 90% off by using the code Bruno.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
90% off.
What's the code?
We're a newer entity, and we want to reward our founders.
Yep. I'm going to put that in the chat. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat. Definitely.
He started talking about 91 days. I thought he was going on like a Spinal Tap tangent where, they wanted their amps to go up to 11.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is 90 days, we're 91, so we're better. But I understand it now, Jonesy. I learned something new from you right now.
And there it is. And you know what? Our volume has no limit.
There you go.
So take that, Spinal Tap.
So I think between the Impact event, which is a 3-day face-to-face event, because you got to get in a room. I've been telling people this for years. You got to be in the room.
Yep.
Sure, there's virtual events, but there's nothing like face to face, sitting at a table with like-minded people. So between the impact event and enrolling in conversion chemistry, uh, which I love what you said, it's an online marketing academy. So if someone is a car detailer, they could turn, like, let's just say it's like their weekend job or a side hustle, a
Mhm.
pet sitter or a house cleaner or a internet marketer or just some like little side hustle kind of thing, someone who's doing 3D printing of stuff. Anyone who has an idea for a business would benefit from the impact event and conversionchemistry.com. Back to call to action. Call to action is up to the person doing the selling, not the person doing the buying. So we want to make that clear. A call to action is, would you call, let me ask you this, guys, would you call it putting somebody on the spot? What makes a call to action more likely to be responded to?
Well, it's going to appeal to a need, a want, or a value in that moment.
I would agree with that. Basically, I tell people when you're looking to buy something, that's the time to be selfish and make it all about you. What are you going to get from this? What specific things or instructions or advice or guidance are you going to get? Because everybody will sell you everything. Here, I'll sell you this my water bottle. Somebody give me $25 for it. It's yours, right? But the thing is, what's the benefit of that? You know? So it's got to be you get benefit now. That's what a call to action really needs to be. It has to be about the person. You will get this if you do this. You will lose that if you don't do this. That type of a thing. And people are either moving towards pleasure or they're moving away from pain. And your call to action will determine, and depending on your market and what you're trying to accomplish, it all depends which one of those two you're going to lead them towards. But it's like for like men's weight loss, let's say, lose the dad gut by June so you look great by July on the beach. You know what's great, but how about you'll feel more confident as you walk down the beach with your beautiful significant other, and you won't have this pooch hanging over that you're disgusted about yourself and you can't get rid of. That's a benefit, right? Or if we say this thing will make you edit your photo by Adobe Lightroom. It makes editing your photos, your digital photos, 57 times faster. Well, that's great, but the call to action is buy Adobe Lightroom now and get to the good stuff faster. Get to the memories of your dear loved ones, your grandma, your grandpa, whoever else has passed on or whatever. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here because I'm not in that mode right now, but that's the point. Is every sentence you write has to drive to that you get benefit now. And the way we were taught in the old days, the purpose of the headline is to get you to read the subheadline. The purpose of the first sentence is to get you to read the second sentence, second, third, all the way through the sales letter. And also, I would point out that you can call for a sale even halfway through this, through a presentation. You say, like, if you like what you see so far, skip ahead and you have it linked to the order form. Why make somebody read the whole sales letter if they're that interested, or if they already know you? My favorite country singer, Marty Stewart, when he comes out with a new album, I don't have to go listen to it first. I go and buy it. Just tell me the new album's out. I want the CD. And that's an example of jumping ahead. I know I want it. Skip all the stuff. Get me to the bottom. Tell me what the guarantee is, how much I'm paying, and I'm good. So that's
I used to think that, like, for instance, there's some of my favorite authors and thought leaders. Like whenever Dan Kennedy came out with a book, I didn't. It didn't. I didn't care what it was about.
yeah.
Even before it came off the press, I ordered it. And of course, you started. Amazon has been really good at this whole pre-order thing. Pre-order the book. I've even seen some authors create a pre-order and then write the book.
Yeah, well, they have an incentive to get the book
Way to
done.
create that's a pre-minimum viable product. Create the demand. If nobody clicks on that pre-order, you may want to rethink writing that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Sell it before you write it.
There's a lot of people that do that, and there's no shame in that, because as long as you have something there for delivery day, or even think about this, like people say, oh, I could never write a course or do that. All you have to do is by the time you're open, have the first module. And if they're weekly modules, you have another week to get to the second one. MVP, minimum viable product, doesn't mean garbage. It means being smart and thinking on your feet and testing the demand. Why should you write a 300-page book if nobody's going to read it?
Right. Well, that reminds me of, like, in the past, like, year or two, I've been seeing different things on Instagram and various other platforms where they're like, we're looking for 10 people in your area who want to lose weight. Now, what if only 10 people responded? Obviously, they're not going to be putting a lot of effort into it, but 10 people in my area. So it's like this exclusivity. Wow, I'm one of the 10. When actually
Yeah,
you're probably one of 1,000.
and scarcity copywriting, which is, that's just one of the tactics for a call to action right there. Is
Right.
you create the illusion, the imagery of scarcity, right? And that's what be one of the 10. Okay, more like 10,000. Well, or we're not going to create a limit on it, sure. But at that present time, you may be experiencing the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out on that, so therefore you're going to take that step, take that action. And then and we're talking a lot about visuals too, with contemporary calls to action. And traditionally we think of it in terms of writing. The ubiquitous call to action is the button on a website or anywhere else that you click on, but it takes the form of video too. Copywriting has turned into scripting. You got the video sales letter. Even when we were talking about go to createimpactnow.com. Well, that's my call to action. And George, when you're saying if you want to be in the room, right, that's a different type of call to action. So it's been transitioned. The transitive property has been invoked to take calls to action from written, actually, because it traditionally was, right, verbal form. Then it went very written for a while, and now it's come full circle. Because even though we're not knocking on doors all day, every day, although some people are and are still successful about it, it's taken the form of video now. And then I did want to circle back and answer your question about, when somebody who is prospecting has that innate fear of the no, of the rejection, how they get over it. Exposure therapy. That's about it. Once you do that 100 dials, it's easier to do it the next day. Smile and dial, as they say. When you get that no, hang up and go for the next one.
I can tell you two things about that. Number one is when you're making your calls, stand up. So you're not in your chair defensively like this. Like, I can't show you without messing it up, but so I'm sitting in my office chair like this, and I'm on the phone, right? And somebody says, Frank, you know what? I don't want your deal. Well, I'm open here in my chest. Maggie, dear, this is not your time to make a cameo, baby. That's our puppy dog barking for her 3:00 treats, which she got at promptly 3:00. So check your time zones, girl. You got to wait a little bit. So I'm sitting here open. I'm like an upside down turtle. I'm very vulnerable right now. But if I'm standing up, guys, I can walk, I can shake, I can move, I can dissipate that energy. And that's one of the smartest things people ever told me about making calls. You stand up, you get your headset, and plus you're getting exercise. You're walking back and forth too. It's not going to kill you. But
so Frank, one of my last jobs was working at a car dealership as the director of marketing and business development. So I ran the internet sales team who would do, it was responsive to inbound marketing. So, we would have our lead generation and inbound leads, but then we would prospect and do appointment setting. So, I would have to stay sharp as, I had my team and I wasn't doing it day to day, but I'd have to jump in once in a while. And I would notice that when I started steering a conversation, having it go my way, I would do that. I'd be up, I'd be walking around, I'd be energetic, I'd be spinning in my chair. And then those would always lead to the end result of the appointment, which, by the way, is a mid-stage call to action, especially when you're talking about appointment setting goals, not the sale. That's just simply a stage within the pipeline or the funnel. But the call to action is not even when do you want to come in. It's okay. Is Wednesday or Friday better for you?
2 p.m. or 5 p.m.
2:15 or 5:15. I always like the 15 to 45s. Yeah, that's a Steven Stauning thing. That's a great course to watch if you are in the appointment setting space. A lot of it's remedial, but there's a lot of good shit in there. Just even tricks like that, which is good. It's good to follow that. Good to follow that script until you're able to customize it to your audience or to what your particular gift of gab may be.
And the other thing I was going to say too, guys, is the word no is only one letter away from a yes when you think about it, right? Maybe it's Larry Fairy, but it's one letter. So the thing is, when you're a kid and your mom said no, did you go, oh, okay, or did you keep trying? You fell down, you fell down. Did you stay down or did you get back up? All of a sudden we become men and we lose our ability to accept no's. Like all of a sudden it's like a physical wound. Well, that's BS, man. I used to, man, Evil Knievel was around. I'd break my bicycles, jumping up ramps and this and that and the other thing. And yeah, I got the scars to prove it too, you know. I got this, my one tooth right here is a little bit out because I fell off the handlebars on my friend's bike and doing about 25 miles an hour, landed on my face. But you know what? Didn't keep me from doing something stupid like that again, did it? And look at me now. I'm fine. I think so anyway.
I can't tell.
Physically anyway. But no, my point is we don't accept no's as children, as teenagers, as infants, as toddlers. All of a sudden we're adults and like, and I don't mean being a jerk about it, okay? But what a no, a lot of times a no means, hey Frank, I don't have enough information, or hey Frank, you haven't done a good enough job. I need a little more time. Or maybe a no is a no, and a no's not going to kill you. You know, make your peace with your no's because the yeses are what matter. It's like my land business. We get people all the time contacting us. Hey, I've got 10 acres in Arkansas. This is what I want for it. So I'll call them back and I'll say, hey, it's Frank Aaron, just getting back to you about your acreage. What can you tell me about it? What do you like? What don't you like? Well, of course I want every one of those people to sell me their land at a discount. Duh, that's why I'm there. But do you know how many of them don't? So I've been in this business 26 years. I get as many no's today as I did 26 years ago, probably. Doesn't mean a thing to me. Just don't, the one thing is don't be rude to me. Don't ever say anything to me on the phone or on Skype or email or whatever that you wouldn't say to me in person. That's my one rule. Because I got two speeds, bunny rabbit, and then I got kill, and nothing in between. I'm usually always a bunny rabbit, but there's no reason to be rude. And you guys listen to this, you don't have to tolerate rudeness from anybody, and
Right.
You shouldn't have to, because we're all trying to make it in this world. I'm trying to feed my family, take care of my people here, better the world. Jonesy is, George is, everybody. The guy in the supermarket you go to that's stocking the produce, he's trying to better himself, man. You don't have to be rude to anybody. I don't understand about people on the internet. They'll say, blank you, and the horse you rode in on. I'm like, I don't even have a horse, dude, first of all. Second of all, you wouldn't say it to me in the face because, high yellow in Kung Fu. Little known secret. I'm
You're
just
learning
saying.
a lot about Frank today.
I'm learning a lot about me today. Oddly enough. I'd forgotten this stuff.
I was thinking about like face-to-face sales and calls to action, and a lot of times the likability of the salesperson plays a big factor. For instance, if I'm looking for a new Toyota Tacoma truck and I go to my local Toyota dealership and the salesman is a complete asshole, just a cocky idiot, I don't want to give the guy my business.
Nope.
I'll either look for a new salesperson or I will go to the next town over, that Toyota dealership. But I've always said the salesperson has to sell himself first before he sells the vehicle. If you don't like the person, you don't want to give them the sale. You don't want them to have the commission. So there is what I call like a likability factor that you have to have. And I think that's why you have to work through the no's all the time, because if you're hung up on the word no, your pitch is going to come across as being stressed, forceful, inauthentic, nervous, that kind of thing. And sales is nothing but as they used to say years ago, a transfer of enthusiasm. It's not a pressure kind of thing. And I think, remember when Saturn came out with like the price you see is the price you pay, kind of thing. And I don't know if, and there's a few car dealerships that still have that. There was a place I know that had a couple sites. One was Car Sense, that one in Downingtown, and I think they had one in Jersey somewhere. But it was whatever the price was on the window, that is what you pay. And what they did was they appealed to people who just didn't want to be pitched or sold to, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, you want $27,000 for this car? There's no haggling. And that was one of the selling points. They used to say, no haggling. The price you see is the price you pay. And just that alone just helped a lot of people relax in the sale. So, but you didn't have salesmen run out on the lot. When you went to the lot looking for a vehicle, and Jonesy, you probably know this after being in the car sales industry, a lot of times salespeople would trip over themselves trying to get to you if they see somebody walking the lot.
The fresh up. Who's up?
Yeah,
Who's up?
The fresh up, and the Saturn. I don't even know if there's a name for that type of selling. I don't know. You guys might know that, but I think that took the hustle out of automotive sales. I liked it better when actually somebody sold me, when they competed for my business. I liked that. There was no, like I think the whole Saturn sales method just kind of put the ball in the customer's court, which sounded good at first, but you don't see a lot of that going on today.
No, for some reason it didn't take, and there's a couple reasons for that. I never understood it. Now, I worked in the car industry as well before I started driving tractor trailer. I was always in the parts department of 3 or 4 different Dodge dealerships and Chrysler dealerships in New Jersey. But, I bought how many new cars and trucks in my life. And if you don't like the salesman, I'm going to the next place, And I'll tell you what, Toyota place here not by us cost themselves a good sale because my wife has a Toyota Sienna minivan, cart the kids around and all in. We bought from this dealership, had a great experience the first time, didn't even think of going anywhere else the second time. The guy wouldn't work with my wife, and she says, I'm going to the one down on Lehigh Street Auto Mall. And they gave her, I'd have to ask her, like $500 or $700 more or something like that for the trade-in, or so it was enough to make it worth her while. And then the guy called back later in the day from the first dealership. She's like, no, dude, I bought it from the other guy. You wouldn't do it then. Why are you going to do it now?
Yeah.
And it's, on the other hand, I have seen finance departments and these closers, some of these guys, some of these dealerships, boy, they are unmerciful the way they chew the customer up. And some of them used to, it's back in the 80s, they would take and put rocker panel guards and extra polish, and things been immunized and cyanidized and miticized and all this and that, and that, they got the list price at 18 grand and now it's up to 21 with all the crap they put on. So that is not a fun car shopping experience. But now, hey, with the internet and everything, it's different. You walk in there, you've got the upper hand on these dealerships, and no sales should be adversarial. I mean, there's a little bit of banter back and forth, or there's no sale that needs to be adversarial.
Mm-hmm.
I never.
No, not at all. So, I mean, like George, you're talking about like the type of car buyer you are, and that you want to have the salespeople compete for you, which is fine because you're a particular target audience for that. And then you've got and CarMax is still doing it. The no haggle pricing, and what that's targeting is people who are probably less price sensitive, and they want the ease of sale. They want to know what they're paying. I want to see what the sales tax is, trade and all that stuff, which is, particularly crucial when you're talking used cars, because there is no used car factory, and every single one is a gem. It's a unicorn. They're pretty much one of a kind because of the make, year, model, and condition and mileage. There's pretty much no two that are exactly alike, right? And then, Frank, you're talking about I guess choice, right?
Yeah.
So it's different type of languages is really what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, in my roundabout way of talking. Different languages that are going to connect a salesperson with an end customer. And then the calls to action have to, be written in that language, spoken in that language.
One of the
Let me ask you this.
Oh,
go ahead, Frank.
No, it's okay.
I was going to say, let's just pivot for 1 second. The average person can't stop their full-time job. They want to ease into a new career, or they want to get out of what they're doing, and they have a business idea, and they might have a great product or a great service. Let's just say like car detailing. Let's just say there's a guy he's just really great at it, and he's great at detailing the cars, man. He is just so detail oriented, no pun intended, or I should say pun intended, but he hates sales. What would it, I'm just pulling this out of thin air. What would a guy who does car detailing, what would his call to action be if he wants to grow his business from doing 1 or 2 cars on the weekend to doing 2 a day, 3 a day?
Well, first step would be get comfortable selling, and if that ends up not being an option, then you can make your customers your salespeople any number of ways. Simply asking them. Okay, that's kind of indirect selling. Asking for a referral may be more comfortable than asking somebody new for a sale. Like, oh man, you really like what I did to that Tacoma. Why don't you go tell all your friends about me, and we'll get them on my schedule. Turning your customers into raving fans, turning them into brand evangelists for you. That's probably the lowest hassle way, the easiest, the least painful way to grow your business when it's a side hustle.
One other thing I was
I
thinking.
like that.
One other thing I was thinking here, Jonesy, is somebody isn't really good at speaking and so forth. They can have an FAQ website. Um, they can advertise the FAQ. How long will my car take? Will my car look really? Will my car really look that much better? Et cetera, et cetera. And then just say, you know what? I'm not a gigantic talker, so forgive me. It's all right here. Anything you need, I'll help you with. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Some people, I mean, I've been goofy since I was a kid, so like I'm born for sales. But I also understand that a lot of people um, have shyness or awkwardness. One of the good things about the internet, I'll tell you this, you can attract the same kind of people that you are, and you tend to do that. Like I'll say this as impartial as I can. I never really had a lot of jerks on my list. Like when I had 250,000 subscribers, I didn't know them all, but I know that 99% of them weren't jerks because sort of the vibe that you put out is the vibe that you get back. Getting a little
Yeah.
cosmic and woo woo there. If you're a jerk, people
Sure.
are going to be a jerk back to you, man. It's like a magnet. If you're okay and decent to people, you're going to get decent customers, and decent inquiries and so forth. So, I mean, it's just something to consider. The internet, you can do a one-time video and say, you know what, these are some great questions. Let me show you this video real quick. Press play while the guy is there, or say, hey, you know what, you're on the phone right now. Go pull this up real quick. I want to show you what we're all about. There's ways to beat that shyness, or your if you're a person that's not as common. Not everybody's a perfect speaker, man. People have histories and backgrounds and shy around people, but they're good at what they do. You still have to be an advocate for yourself, though. You still have to be number one. Your biggest fan, it has to be you.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting that you say that. It's interesting that you say that because when I look at like what I call or what we call the impact family, we're all sales and marketers. We all have a product. We are also customers of the impact movement as well. For instance, I look at Grant Cardone. I look at Ken MacArthur. Both are sales and marketing guys, but completely different methods. Grant's got kind of like this dog eat dog shark kind of thing, and he attracts that kind of thing. Ken says, what do you want to do when you wake up in the morning? Ken says things like, you make an impact whether you want to or not. You'll never hear Grant Cardone say anything like that. So I think Grant, he attracts the Grant Cardone
That's my point.
type people. Yeah, and Ken, certain people will hear Ken say, you make an impact whether you want to or not. Certain people will hear that and be sold on the impact family just from his statements because he's a gentleman. He's not really a get in your face kind of guy.
No, he's the anti-Cardone, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what I gravitate towards. I mean, listen, I was a truck driver from New Jersey. I can handle myself. I did kung fu, blah, blah, blah. Used to ride a road bicycle 100 miles a week, great shape and all that. I never felt the need to impose my testosterone on another person. You know, you could treat them like a human being and be nice to them and still make money. You don't have to be an a-hole in business. So you guys that are watching this now and you're like, oh, I could never sell. I say bullshit on that. And I say very politely and, you know, wash my mouth out with soap and all that, but it's bullshit. You can sell. A bankrupt truck driver from New Jersey. What did I know, George and Jonesy? I had to do the same thing everybody else did. Nobody gave me the internet and said, here's your website.
Right.
Jeez, the first website, I wouldn't even show myself it anymore. That's how bad it was.
Right.
Still made money though. And you know what?
Right.
Your first dollar is your hardest. It's gonna be the hardest one you ever make. Your first sale is the one that's almost gonna kill you.
There's a reason why businesses used to put their first dollar in a frame and put it next to the cash. Right. I mean, there was a day when every brick and mortar business had that dollar in a frame next to the cash register. You don't see that much anymore, but I mean, we all grew up seeing that.
Mhm.
Do businesses even do that anymore?
Maybe they sent their first email or something.
Yeah, their first
receipt.
receipt from a Square point of sale transaction.
Yeah, right.
The same romance does it. You know?
Which also they take out their merchant fee, so that $1 is like really 97 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. This thing about your first sale though, it gets easier with each sale, people. It really does. Your first one, you're going to be excited, elated, scared. Where, oh my God, what did I just do? I actually made a sale. Now what? On the one hand. On the other hand, you're like, high five, I'm the man, you know?
Yeah.
And we all go through it and we all fear it. So I want to feel it. So I want to encourage everybody listening to this and watching this. You can do this. I believe in you. And Maggie believes in you too.
Mm-hmm.
It's dog. So we've had, George, you need a dog, man, because we got T-Bone over there, Maggie over here chiming in on this one.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to keep her quiet, and she every once in a while she's like, "Dude, where's my snacks? I don't care what you're doing here." Good dog.
All right. Well, we've been on this topic for over an hour. I will give you gentlemen the final word. Jonesy, go for it.
Well, we talk a lot about you have a choice between being a dick or being kind. One of those costs nothing and is a lot less effort than the other. Be kind. It's free and it's easy.
I love it. Frank Guerin.
Call your mom.
I love it. That's great. And I'm going to do that as soon as I get off. Definitely. Gentlemen, thank you for your appearance today. And I think this is episode number 7 of Fire Your Boss. That's pretty cool. And for those that are watching and will be watching this in the future, you can meet all of us at the Impact event next weekend, 3 days. That could potentially change your life and hang out with people who could buy Lamborghinis.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you there.
But instead of Lamborghinis, they bought Dodge Chargers and what else do you have?
Dodge Challengers, and then I buy buildings in Philadelphia. Is what I
do.
do.
Exactly. Now that's, to me, that's a flex. That's definitely that's a positive flex.
Yeah. You know, George, my blue pickup truck that I drive, right? That's a 2004 Dodge. It's got 254,000 miles on it. It just keeps on running. Long as I change my own oil, I've got an ace mechanic. Why do I need a new one if I work from home and don't have to commute every day? This one
exactly.
And Frank buys land. He's basically like a feudal overlord.
I've been called worse, believe me. Give me a little bit of time and I will. Oh, we just closed the deal in North Carolina. I just got the purchase agreement signed this afternoon, and one in Colorado today. The one in just as a side note, the one in Colorado we're buying for $8,200. Going to sell it for $20,000 to $25,000. So we'll make almost $10,000 after realtor commissions. And the other one in North Carolina we're buying for 20 something and selling for in the 50s or 60s. So I mean, I do that and I do the internet. So if I can do this, people, I'm telling you that anybody can do it. Sincerely, I believe in you.
Excellent. Dan T-Bone Jones, also known as Jonesy from conversionchemistry.com. Frank Guerin, former bankrupt truck driver from New Jersey. I want to thank you for your time. And I will see you guys face-to-face next week. And regarding the audience, go to conversionchemistry.com and use the promo code Bruno2024 and get 90% off the online marketing academy, also known as Conversion Chemistry. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you soon.